Viking Media in association with Boxer. Mr. Jim White out here in Dubai for the boxing, not football.
For the boxing, that's right. Well, I was here in December for Sonny Edwards, and of course we saw what happened there. He was so good against Jason Mama, and he won that. And now we're back. It seems like a matter of weeks. It is a matter of weeks, and he goes again against this dangerous hard puncher, Mohammed Wasim. We'll see what happens with that, but I love Sonny Edwards. I've got into the boxing because of Probellum. I'm really enjoying it, and of course on Talk Sport, as you know, we were discussing it every Thursday. In fact, nowish. Myself, Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver talk boxing, and of course we get some of the biggest names in the particular fight game to come and join us. So yeah, we see boxing going like that, and we're trying to go like that with it.
That's interesting. That it means boxing is now appealing more to the casual fans as well. So obviously, would you class yourself as a casual fan?
Because I'm in the industry you and I are in, because we are media, I have to be more than casual. I have to work out who's who and who's trying to do what. But I mean, there is a lot going on in this business. It is very, very exciting. You look at the last few weeks when we saw what happened with Chris Eubank Jr. Winning, getting the result he wanted against Liam Williams, and then straight after that, Simon Jordan and I were ringside for Can Brook, which was unmissable, unforgettable. It was incredible. Amir Khan didn't turn up, really, but having said that, Kell Brook was devastatingly brilliant. And then straight after that, all the hoo-ha regarding Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. So I mean, boxing's headline news. It is headline news, and of course much more to come, not least with Sonny Edwards and Probellum out here in Dubai, but Tyson Fury going in against Dillian White very shortly.
What do you put that reason down to? Because boxing, to be fair, a few years ago people would say, it's a dying sport, not many people turning up to the arenas, but now, like you said, you're seeing it worldwide. There's crowds coming in, people are watching it. What do you think was a turning point, and who's behind it?
Do you know what? That's such a good question. I think now we're seeing, the boxing world is extremely competitive. The fighters all want one thing. They want to win and be recognised as a champion. But the world of boxing promotion is incredibly competitive as well. And we see what happened with Eddie Hearn going to the zone. We see Ben Shalom coming in and doing his promotion there with Sky Sports and doing a great job. Those three fights we just spoke about, all on Sky Sports, each one of them headline news. That is a very, very tough business to be in, and only the most durable survive, like Frank Warren, like Eddie. And of course Probellum are now making their mark, and they're doing it out here at the moment. They're doing it in Dubai. It's an incredible business, and I think it is a big, big following because of the characters it throws up. Sonny Edwards, great speaker. He's as interesting in the ring as he is outside it, and I've got a great deal of time for Sonny Edwards. I think he articulates himself brilliantly, and when you get someone like Tyson Fury, who every time Tyson Fury opens his mouth, it's headline news. Now, people clamour for individuals like that, and fight fans, I think, are like football fans. We saw them up in Manchester in their huge numbers for Can against Brook. They're like football fans. They're prepared to pay the price on the ticket because they want to see the event. So yeah, sure. Now boxing's on the crest of a wave, and those who follow boxing know what they're talking about, and they love it, and I'm into it.
Who's your favourite fighter?
My favourite fighter of all time?
Well, all time and current.
Gosh, I mean, many years ago, and you would be just a boy. I mean, when I used to work at Scottish Television before I went to Sky Sports, and I was heavily into what Jim Watt was doing, the then world lightweight title holder, the champion, who made so many defences of his title in Glasgow against people like Charlie Nash. He won it from a fellow called Pitalua. He beat Pitalua to win it. Charlie Nash, Howard Davis, he fought Davis at Ibrox. Nobody expected Jim to do it, but he did it. Sean O'Grady came to Glasgow. And then when he went to London to defend it, that's when the wheels come off and he lost to Alexis Arguello. And I think then I got a real thirst and hunger for boxing then. My favourite, I mean, it's hard. There have been so many. Modern day, I think it's hard to look past people like Golovkin and Canelo, but more than having a favourite fighter, I must admit I stand back and respect them for what they do, because in football you walk on a football pitch with 10 others. These guys go in there on their own, Okay, they've got their seconds in the corner, as we know, but they don't put the gloves on and go out and fight. 10 others with you go and play a football match, and wear football boots. These guys, it's a tough sport, and you're on your own. And I have the utmost respect for what they do. I don't know how they do it. Look at what Jack Catterall attempted to do, and many thought that he did do it against Josh Taylor, and was robbed as a result. It's a cruel business. It's a very competitive business, but they get my respect forever.
Two quick questions. You mentioned Jack Catterall there. Obviously, I see you as a footballing expert, so you know the game inside out. So if I compare the VAR system and how if things go wrong in football, other people come in from outside, do you think boxing needs something like that?
Great question. I mean, it certainly needs us in the media, like you and I, to be able to speak to the judges of Taylor Catterall and say, okay, how did you arrive at this decision? How did you arrive at the verdict you've arrived at? Because the boxing public that night were as much in the dark as Jack Catterall was. And of course, Josh Taylor, he didn't ask it to be judged that way. He was hoping it would be, because he wanted to win it. So, you know, to a large extent, he's a victim too. So yes, I think VAR has cleared up an awful lot of things in football. Many people still against it, but those now see the wisdom of it, and it would be prudent to introduce something similar in boxing. Last
question, pay. So comparing footballers' pay to boxers, obviously boxers, they're in there putting their lives on the line, and we spoke about it off camera where, footballers will, fake dives and they'll be curling up on the floor and holding onto their ankles, and then a minute later they're running around, but boxers, they just get on with it.
Yeah.
So why is there such a big difference in pay? Obviously, the commercial side of it plays a hand as well, but do you think there needs to be a bit more, matching up?
Very definitely, I think there does. I mean, as you rightly say, these guys go in and risk life and limb. I think what the ones who get to the very top, like Canelo, like of course Tyson Fury, like of course AJ, they command huge money and the right to get it. But the guys lower down the pyramid, the boxing pyramid, do not get it. And I think that's a crying shame. And yes, football, nothing annoys me more than simulation. Somebody rolling around on the ground as if they've just been mortally wounded, but they haven't. They get up and they carry on. And of course, we all know what's happened in football. They have huge broadcast deals, the clubs, especially Premier League clubs, and the money rolls in. The money rolls in. Even parachute payments when you're relegated. So the disparity between football and boxing is enormous. But again, it gets back to the square root of what we said a moment ago. There aren't the words for me to tell you the respect I've got for boxers, and they deserve every penny they get. And I think it's so good that nowadays the lion's share should go to the fighter and not the promoter. And the people are prepared to pay it for the ticket. So, I mean, it should only go one way, and that should be to the fighter.
Thank you for that. Nice speaking to you, and we'll catch up after the fights.
Great speaking to you.